Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER One News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER One News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER One News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER One News. I'm Alan Troop reporting news from around the Columbia Basin for Tuesday, December 10th. Tonight, we report on why a judge threw out a murder confession and how Ephrata is maintaining the same budget amount next year. In sports, Bob Kirkpatrick reports on what the loss to San Francisco means to the Seahawks. And our spotlight story tonight is about a Moses Lake girl who organized a pool tournament to help veterans. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER One Weather Center. Our top story tonight, a judge threw out a murder confession because the officer told the suspect he would need to explain the crime to a judge. What the officer said could have countered the reading of the suspect's Miranda rights and his understanding that he had a right to remain silent and not testify against himself. Grant County Superior Court Judge Evan Sperline ruled a Grant County Sheriff's deputy telling murder suspect Jose Aguilar he would need to talk with the judge about the crime was incorrect. The 36-year-old Desert Air man is charged with murder in the first degree, assault in the second degree, witness intimidation, and an alien in possession of a firearm for the October 2012 murder of Carmelita Lopez Santos, a 42-year-old Yakima woman. Aguilar allegedly shot and killed the woman because she was ending a romantic relationship. Her body was found in the Buckshot Wildlife Access Area near Mattawa on October 16th. The charges remain, and the prosecutors will have to prove his guilt in court. To read more about the judge's reasoning, please visit us online at ifiber1.com/news. Landowners in the Moses Lake Irrigation and Rehabilitation District gathered in Moses Lake today to vote. 6 people are vying for 3 directors' spots this year as the board moves from 3 members to 5. Director for Position 1, Ron Covey, is running for re-election against former candidate and Moses Lake businessman David Skog. Skog ran last year against Director Ken Kernan. 2 new director positions were created this year to expand the board from 3 to 5 directors. 4 candidates, Mary Perry, Bill Bailey, Larry Tracy, and Jeff Foster, are vying for the 2 new seats. Board Secretary Sherry McFall explained the 2 candidates out of the 4 receiving the highest number of votes will win the 2 new positions. People owning land within the district are allowed to vote, and the ballots will be counted tonight and tomorrow morning. iFIBER One News will report on the results as soon as they are released. Ephrata residents won't notice any difference between city services this year and next year. City Administrator Wes Crago and Mayor Chris Jacobson both said it's harder to maintain the status quo this year as costs rise faster than revenues. The City Council approved the $12.8 billion 2014 budget, which is roughly $300,000 higher than last year. Crago said the increase is due to costs increasing, including increased payments to the MAC 911 Center, health care, and training. To cover the costs, the city will put less money into reserves than usual. Jacobson said, without the normal state funding, the city has continued to develop new efficiencies, downsized our staff, and utilized our remaining personnel in new ways. However, this strategy is not sustainable as the cost of materials has continued to rise faster than the city's growth in taxes and fees. The city is not looking at cutting any positions in 2014. It's unknown whether the city will have to pay increases for its employees since the city is negotiating with the unions. Each of the people you see here has warrants for their arrest and is wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DOC asks that you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. And we will be back after these messages with the latest from our iFIBER One Weather Center, sports, and more news.